Hi. Between Jeremy DeWitt and the other guy who I've reacted to multiple times on my channel, whose name I can't remember, a lot of people seem to really like impersonating police officers. I just got finished watching a Code Blue Cam video where they arrested a guy who was impersonating a police officer. But the difference between this guy and the other two guys I just mentioned is that this guy is definitely doing this for a nefarious reason, and those other two guys were doing it because they wanted to seem cool. This guy's name is Mezzi, and he's a real piece of work. I'll tell you what. It all started when a cop pulls up on Mezzi, and then, you know, they get suspicious of him. I would imagine that when you're a cop, it's really easy to sniff out people who are impersonating police officers, especially since Mezzi here was driving an unmarked SUV with blue lights. So the officer doesn't press him about it. He's just like, you know what, I'm gonna run my own investigation and I'll bring backup tomorrow. So that's exactly what he does. And then the next day, a bunch of police officers pull up on Mezzi. He loses his composure and he starts trying to yap his way out of the situation, even though it's pretty obvious to all these officers that he's not a real cop.
I was talking to some other guys. So you work for Edmonds PD?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is a part-time gig.
I got you. Do you have your commission card with you today?
Yeah, give me a minute.
No, didn't find it?
Sorry? No, he's going to, it's in my other bag.
Oh, okay.
It's, he's grabbing it now.
Okay, how long have you been working for the Salvation Army?
Sorry?
How long have you been working off duty for the Salvation Army?
I'm here almost every other week.
Every other week?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I also work down at the KRM.
Okay. And what's your full name?
Mezzi Scaletta, M-E-Z-Z-Y. Yeah, it's going to be the green bag. And it's got my wallet with the credentials and everything on the side of it.
Sarge, can you stay over here?
Please grab it. All right, I'll see you in a minute.
Is it a loaded firearm that you have with you, Mr. Scaletta?
Correct.
Okay, can you put your hands on the car, please? From there to attention on this whole search, keep your hands over there.
Can we not do this in front of everybody? I mean, really?
Yeah.
You're doing just fine keeping your hands
Okay,
over that.
yeah,
I
no
appreciate it.
problem, man. Can I contact my command as soon as y'all are...
Do you have any other firearms on you, sir?
No, sir.
Okay.
Uh,
Here's
no,
what you do.
no.
So you're not under arrest right now, but you're being detained, okay?
Mezzi here can't even believe that he doesn't possess some sort of power of persuasion here. He looks so surprised that these officers are detaining him. I think these officers know off rip when someone is impersonating a police officer, especially when they act the way that Mezzi here is acting. He's acting like he's high, so, in which, let me tell you, he is. He definitely is. You can tell by the way his body is languid. You can just tell in the way he's moving. His face is constantly shifting. He's just like, like he's trying his absolute hardest to stay locked in. Anyway, so they get Mezzi here detained, and then they question the Salvation Army guy.
Sorry about your company. Okay. We're concerned that he's impersonating a police officer, is not credentialed. Do you know for a fact that he's a police officer? Okay.
They're just as in the blue as these police officers. They have no clue what this guy's actual deal is. All they know is that he keeps showing up and providing security for them, so they're happy, right? But this guy is not a police officer, and they confirmed this.
Do you understand why you're detained right now or no?
I don't know
I think
why you did doing what you're doing, but...
Okay. Is it okay if I explain some of it?
Sure.
Okay. So first off, if you are a commissioned police officer in this state, you will be taken out of cuffs, and I will formally apologize.
Thank you.
Okay?
No problem.
All right. Here's a couple problems, though. I'm one of the supervisors in the city right now. If Salvation Army is hiring uniformed commissioned law enforcement, who's going to be carrying badge, gun, vest, especially not in our agency. So if you're us, and especially if you're law enforcement, you understand, we see a guy with detective badge, police badge, I think there's a SWAT badge somewhere on there as well, right, in our jurisdiction, and we haven't been notified that, hey, Salvation Army's got armed law enforcement. And that's not true. You might have just been going from your employment to your car. However, when we came across you, right, you're uniformed and armed when we came across you. That's an accurate statement. The concern is, especially because we weren't given notification, right?
I'm not operating. I'm not working. I'm not...
Well, here's the problem with
leaving.
that. Well, it's Mezzi, right?
Correct.
Here's the problem with that. You're leaving. Even if you're leaving, Salvation Army, this is the #1 crime hotspot in the entire city for us.
I know this.
Let me tell you.
I'm a retired Baltimore City.
Okay.
27 years. I come out here.
Baltimore mention, let's go. That's my city right there. But that's also a lie, actually. I don't think he was ever a Baltimore City cop. The long story of it is he's a felon, and he's been a felon for a long time. I don't think felons are allowed to be cops. We'll get to that later as well. It's just that this guy's ego got bruised, so he had to try to use that as a way to preserve himself in this situation, even though he literally has no credentials at all.
I think we're getting our wires crossed a little bit, because what I'm trying to get you to understand is, I understand that you're just leaving, if you're off duty, if you know this is the highest crime area in the city, and you know that that's likely to do with your law enforcement experience, and we're going to be in the area, probably not the best idea to be wearing a vest, armed, going to and from,
Yeah.
because it's going to make us think some
Well,
things, up to and including possible criminal impersonation of a police officer. That's why you're detained. We get all that checked out, and you know what? This might be an error for their bosses and our bosses, because if this is all true, right, and we weren't, and we just weren't notified, that's what could have solved this, is an email saying, hey, just so you know, there's a guy, he's law enforcement, he's being hired off duty at Salvation Army. You may see him come and go from the parking lot. That's what we'd say. Sounds good. We've heard nothing.
Okay.
Have you heard anything about this? No. Have you heard anything about this?
We might have called Edmonds last night.
The sheriff?
What?
We might have called Edmonds PD last night.
Yeah.
Not on the payroll.
Say it again.
You're not on the payroll with Edmonds PD.
And just like that, his entire story comes falling apart because he's been claiming this entire time that he works for the Edmond PD, and now they have him dead to rights. He's not on their payroll. He is not a cop for them. That begs the question, who is he? These cops are going to dig into his past, and what they're going to find is a bunch of criminal records, basically. But we'll get to that in a second. I like how he's like, that can't be right. Are you sure about that? He knows he's lying. He's dead ass lying right now through his teeth. He's trying to keep this facade up, but it's not working. But he still has to keep the act. He's like, what? No, I'm pretty sure I'm a cop for Edmonds, actually. You should check again. Check 3 more times. So I think now they've confirmed that he's not a cop. But what tipped them off in the first place was what happened the night before when Mezzi here ran into another cop. And funnily enough, his body language is pretty much the exact same. So this guy might be high all the time. So what happened was an officer noticed Michael Mezzi. I'm going to keep calling him Mezzi. An officer noticed Mezzi working at the Salvation Army Center. Mezzi's pulled up in a bare, unmarked SUV with blue police lights coming out of it, which looks fake. It looks like a fake police car, and it was a fake police car, as it turned out. So the officer in that moment, he didn't say anything. He just made note of it, and he went back to conduct a little investigation of his own. And he left Mezzi there overnight. What we just saw was the encounter that the police officers had to confirm that he was actually impersonated. And now we're going to look at what set it off. What happened the night before.
They asked
With
us to come outside. I thought it was for you.
Who else to come outside?
I don't know. He's on the phone with him.
No, I thought I was pulled over because I thought you guys needed help with that.
Oh, no. No, we thought, no, I'm confused right now, man.
I thought you were like one of our detectives at first.
I know some of the guys with the task force. Well, so I retired from Baltimore City after 27 years. Came out here, it took about a year for me to end up going back. I went with Thurston at first, Thurston Sheriff's Department. There was a lot of things going on, and they wanted to put me in the jail. I know a lot of detectives from Edmonds, from the gang network and stuff like that. The anti-narcotics training on base every year.
How long have you been a detective with Edmonds?
About 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. I started with robbery, and now with the gang intelligence.
Yeah, totally casual conversation that totally was not suspicious at all. He raised no suspicion during that entire conversation. He seemed kind of scared by the officer, like he didn't really want to talk to him, but he was going, so he kept yapping in order to kind of compensate for the fact that he's scared out of his fucking mind because a real cop showed up while he's impersonating a cop. So yeah, it was a fire they were both responding to, and then they just ran into each other, and then that cop obviously was really suspicious of Mezzi's fucking whole deal. So of course the next day, which is now, they sent all these police officers to arrest him, or to at least investigate him, and then they arrested him. So now we're all caught up to speed. This guy, he's being arrested for impersonating a police officer. Now we all know how he got here, but where we're going is much more interesting because that officer conducted a background check, and what he found was that Mezzi here actually has a bit of a criminal history.
I came in, Graves started telling me about it, and I was like, no.
Did they have PC?
They were checking out a transit started a fire last night, and he pulled up on Casey and turned on blue emergency lights inside the car and got out and was like, hey, I'm with Edmonds.
In 2015, he was involved in like a SWAT incident where he barricaded himself inside and had like a whole like threat of like blow the place up. So it was like a bomb threat. SWAT was involved. They came out. He was detained and arrested in District of Columbia. That was from Lynx back in 2015.
A bomb threat. He's a bomber. So I think that would constitute as a felony. It was in 2015, which is definitely 9 years before this incident right now. And yet he still claims that he was a cop cop for Baltimore County, or he says he was a cop for Baltimore City 27 years, and that he quit 4 years ago from this, which means he would have stopped being a Baltimore City cop in 2020, according to his timeline of things. Either a cop threatened to blow up a fucking building and the SWAT team had to be called on him and he was arrested and given a felony and he was stripped of his cop duties then, or he was never a cop and he's lying and he was just always a criminal who wanted to be a cop to do things that we'll get into later. I think the latter is more likely. I don't think this guy was ever a cop. So at this point, it's becoming increasingly obvious that yes, he is impersonating a police officer. These officers' suspicions are correct.
Hey, tell me what happened in 2015 with Baltimore PD.
The riots.
I think
with
you know
the,
exactly what I'm talking about.
The unit, yeah. I worked in the Eastern Prison. We knew the feds were there. But you keep your nose clean. You don't have to worry about.
Well, I'm talking about the offense where you were arrested in Baltimore City.
Me?
In 2015.
I was arrested. I wasn't arrested. Never been arrested.
Never been arrested.
No.
Never once.
Never been arrested.
So when I search you in our police database and your name and date of birth come back with an incident in 2015 with the District of Columbia, which is obviously Washington, D.C.
That's DC. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You said no. Go, take me on APIS right now. Never. I don't know what you're talking about.
Impeccable acting there. Mezzi doesn't just play dumb. He embodies stupidity in and of itself in order to make it seem like he doesn't know what he's talking about. This is a true actor at work. But either way, he's still definitely going to jail because they found out he's a convicted felon and he had a live gun on him, and that's a no-no. Can't be doing that. So they remove all of the gear off of him, and now he's actually being placed under arrest.
He's going to jail. One time this stuff. It's a big no. I know you. I'm not like pointing it at you. I'm just explaining the reason for the response. Okay. Yeah.
He's a convicted felon. He's been to prison. He's carrying a firearm.
Have you seen him arrest anybody? Nope. Are you still talking?
At this time, I'm going to invoke my rights and remain silent.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
We all know better.
Fair enough. Call that wily law enforcement experience, huh?
Yeah, I bet he would like to use his right to remain silent now that they have all of the evidence they need to arrest him for real this time. And I like how the officer said, yeah, use that law enforcement experience. He's remaining quiet because he knows he doesn't actually have any. So now the officers are going to call Michael's wife and inform her that her husband's being arrested. And unfortunately for Michael, his wife pretty much throws him under the bus and exposes that he's lying about a lot more than just being a police officer. Ugh.
I'm so sorry, sir. I just woke up.
Okay. He's being arrested for criminal impersonation and unlawful possession of a firearm.
I'm so confused right now.
What part is confusing?
Just this whole thing. I mean, I thought that he went to work last night.
Does he work at Salvation Army?
What?
Does he work at the Salvation Army in Bremerton?
No, he's supposed to be Bremerton Kitsap.
Doing what?
Well, I know he's a reserves police officer. That's what he told me. That's the work he's doing.
He's a reserves police officer for who?
You know what? I don't know what. I know he's contracted. That's what he's told me.
So he's not even honest with his wife about what he's doing. And even now, down to the end, he's going to remain vigilant and try to and stick to his story, even though all of the evidence is stacked against him. And he's still moving like he's on something.
In 2015, you're convicted hoax by false bomb. And you were sentenced to 4 months in prison.
What? No, bro.
Did you get your firearms rights restored?
Sorry, I'm not doing it. Just adjusting. I'm just kind of. I laid back on my seat.
Interesting how he conveniently left out an answer to that question. Interesting time to utilize your right to remain silent, even though this entire time you've been yapping away. Interesting. So Michael's wife called back later, and then she revealed that Michael actually had a stash of firearms that he shouldn't have because he's a felon. So now the police decide they're gonna walk around the neighborhood and see if they can get eyewitnesses who claim that Michael told them that they were a police officer. And I gotta tell you, they're gonna find a lot of fucking people.
Will you guys walk around and see how many people you can talk to that will say, yes, this guy said he was a cop?
At any point over the night or anything, did you have a conversation with that security guard that said like police on the back of his vest?
Well,
conversation as far as not talking to him, but just like he came up, he's like, "Hey, you guys need anything?"
Okay. Did he tell you at any point that he was a cop?
I know. I guess it was implied
Just implied.
by the police badges and shit. He looked like a cop.
Gotcha.
I'm assuming he was not.
That is correct.
Okay.
So yeah, he told him that he was a cop. He wasn't an actual cop. My question is that a fucking person? Is this a goddamn person, or is this just a pile of clothes that just so happened to be piled in the exact way for it to look like a person who's like kneeled up against a wall, like in a praying position? What the fuck is going on here? Or is this like a kid they didn't want to record? I don't. Is this a real person? Can you tell? Someone in the comments let me know. Is that a real person?
I was just wondering. So there's a guy walking around in kit like ours. He was wearing a badge and everything. Did he ever talk to you?
The guy in the car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he say to you?
He's the one that wanted me in last night.
Okay.
Like, you know, security at the front door.
Did he ever claim to be a police officer?
Just, they checked my bag and made sure that I didn't have anything I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, I've never seen him before, but
And I never had either.
when one of the staff had asked me about, you know, they're getting on me about having so much my hygiene or medications and I told one of the staff guys, I said, well, you know, that's my medication. Yeah, it's medication for my third-degree wound, you know.
Right.
You know. And,
Yeah.
And he goes, do you have that wound covered up? I go, it's a 30-degree burn from April. He goes, oh.
So did he ever tell you that he was a police officer or anything?
I mean, he had police thing on, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
So it looks like nobody in the immediate vicinity has been told directly that he was a cop. They all just kind of assumed he was a cop based on the way he looked and was dressed. But then someone comes through and they actually give the police extra information that's useful.
So the guy that has been walking around with the vest, police, and the Edmonds badge,
Yeah.
did he ever talk to you?
Yeah, I talked to him this morning over at 7-Eleven.
Has he ever claimed to be a police officer to you?
Yeah, he has.
Okay.
So anyway, he was at 7-Eleven pushing everybody out down there this morning when I was down there.
What do you mean?
He's telling everybody to get off the property. It was,
At 7-Eleven?
yeah, at 7-Eleven. I said hi to him, but he didn't say anything. And then he talked to one of the guys who was on the ground there.
When was
sitting
that?
Down this morning.
Do you remember?
5:30.
5:30?
Yeah, just before 5:30, around that time.
Did he say he was a police officer then, or?
Well, he kind of told him that, you know, that it was like, it's not this time of the day that you're supposed to be here, you know, that you need to be off the property.
Okay.
So,
So you said he has talked to you previously about?
yeah, well, I've known him here.
When did he last tell you that he was a police officer? Do you remember?
This has been probably 2 months ago.
So now we know he was at 7-Eleven at 5:30 in the morning kicking people off property or something. Who are you to kick people out of a business? First of all, 7-Eleven's 24 hours. So, I mean, anybody could be there at any fucking point in time. Why are you trespassing people from 7-Eleven? It's a public store. People are supposed to be in there. It doesn't make sense. But now they have a lead. They follow it. They're going to go to the 7-Eleven, and what they find is evidence.
Around 2:31 in the morning, a Bremerton officer rolls out to call from a 7-Eleven manager who wants someone trespassed off the property. As the officer arrives on scene, a familiar face appears as well.
One guy and this lot of people even hanging. People I need clean, and this guy 24 hours is grey t-shirt.
Who said he works here?
No, grey t-shirt. This guy.
Who are you asking to leave?
I call and this guy 24 hours here in the door. And
Okay.
he left grey. And every customer say,
He just needs to leave?
yeah, no more, yeah, brother. He's
Okay, man.
24
He needs to
hours
leave.
here.
Yeah, so it's convenient that the other officer had his body cam recording as well. So Michael was literally caught on camera the night before impersonating a police officer responding to someone getting trespassed from 7-Eleven. So now the officers are going to go there in the present and they're going to question the manager from the 7-Eleven about what happened. And then they talk to a witness who I assume is nearby, who was nearby. It was interacting with Michael.
Just arrested a guy for impersonation of a police officer. He's dressed like us. He's got a badge like us.
Oh, this police guy?
Yeah.
He
had a gun on his head.
He's all night here walking.
All night here?
Yeah, all night he's walking and around here and in this side and badge and weapon. This and 3-4 times he's come inside.
Inside the store?
Yeah, he's around purchase some drink.
Yeah.
And I call for one some people live 24 hours, huh? So I
Yeah.
call 911. Your colleague is come,
Okay.
so he's together come.
He was talking to customers,
Yeah,
telling them,
customers inside.
and he told them that he was a police officer?
Yeah.
When he came up to your window, shining the light in and stuff like that,
Right.
did you get a feeling
That it was
that-
one of you guys.
Yeah, so that it was one of us.
Scared
But were you getting a feeling like you were being
Harassed.
like questioned during like a police investigation? Or you feel like you were like he was kind of like detaining
He
you at
kind of
any
leaned
point?
in there. He would kind of lean in there, you know. He made a suggestion. Remember I told you. He said, well, you know, if I ever need something or any information, I know I can count on you. And I'm looking at this guy like, I can't
You're
believe
like, I don't
he
even know
just
who
said
you
that.
are.
Yeah, and then he said, then he started telling me about how he's going to have control of the narcotics department. He's going to be running some of you guys' units. He's been promoted, and he's moving up here this way. The last time I seen him, he was drunk as a mother. And he was on duty. Everybody knew he was drinking.
So yeah, he was drunk as hell. On top of all that, according to that witness, at least he's claiming that he smelled alcohol on him while he was impersonating this police officer. So I guess we can add a couple DUIs to those long list of charges, right? And then from the store manager, we find out that he's just been hanging around 7-Eleven all night, talking to customers, flexing that he's a police officer when he's really not. So honestly, that should seem like all of the evidence needed. Sounds like just a guy abusing the power of a badge in order to, you know, get what he wants and do what he wants. He's out here drinking while he's harassing people dressed up as a police officer. So now at this point, the officers pretty much have all the evidence they need. They have all of the witness testimonies. Fucking people come out of the woodworks calling officers in the middle of the night about this guy impersonating to be a police officer.
I've always been told he was Edmonds PD.
You've always been told that?
Yeah, for like the last few months that he was Edmonds PD, and that's what the badge showed. And like even my friends always thought that he was like Edmonds PD.
Okay. And how did you guys come to that conclusion that he was Edmonds?
Uniform, and then word of mouth that he was Edmonds PD.
Did he ever come to you guys and be like, hey, I work for Edmonds?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of Michael's ex-colleagues later shared screenshots of their chats, showing how he constantly painted himself as the hard-working cop, skipping dinners with his wife, always jumping on emergencies. He even sent her a video where it looked like he was responding to a deadly emergency. The man's deception seemed to have no limits.
And even then, Michael still chooses to play dumb.
What are we doing?
You're going to the Kitsap County Jail.
Okay, and get processed in. Are these serious charges or
2 felonies.
2 felonies? What are the 2 felonies for?
Criminal impersonation in the 1st degree and unlawful possession of firearm in the 2nd.
Criminal impersonation, the 1st degree.
Yes, correct.
That's a felony.
Yes.
I thought it was a misdemeanor. So how did it turn to 1st degree?
It turns out you were taking significant law enforcement action
Where?
at the 7-Eleven.
I was taking action?
There's actually 2 things that I know of so far. One is that you were kicking people off the property at the 7-Eleven and taking trespass enforcement. And 2, you were interviewing one of the local transients about a suspicious death at the Salvation Army.
What?
It's not even convincing. It's not even like a little convincing. What? That doesn't sound like me. But this officer literally hits the nail on the fucking head. He is about to call Michael out on his bullshit in the best way possible. And it's gonna leave Michael fucking stunned.
As far as like when I see a judge, do they release people or do they always give them a bond?
You've been a cop for 30 years and you don't know how jail booking works?
Well, no, it's different out here because, I'm asking what are...
You work for Edmonds, right?
So, like, what are, like, do they release people or are they, like, really strict on bonds or... Sorry?
What happens when we take people to King County Jail?
Well, this isn't King County. I'm just asking how are the judges out here, like, what's it like?
I worked for the Seattle Police Department for 7 years, and I put people in King County Jail, so I know exactly how it works in King County.
I don't listen. I'm just asking.
No, I understand.
I don't know what the judges are like out here, so I'm just asking.
Oh, okay. When was the last time you used?
I don't use. Why you say that?
Because I think you're high.
You think I'm high?
I think you're high.
Okay, that's your opinion, man. I'll take a drug test for you.
Okay. Matter of fact, Mr. Scaletta, my theory is that this whole pretend to be a cop thing down in Salvation Army is a opportunity for you to seize drugs from the local transient people. That's what I think. I think that's how you're obtaining illegal drugs.
Yeah, not. Never.
Really easy, right?
I've never enforced that. I'm a security. No, never. I've never done anything like that, dude.
You didn't turn on your body camera at all last night?
Why would I? I'm not. It's not. The only time I turn on the body camera, like there's an incident where it needs to be documented.
Okay.
No.
So ask the guy if he has illegal drugs, and then ask him questions about.
No. Absolutely not. Shook nobody down. I've never made contact physical wise. I chat with everybody, man. Yeah. I tell them, look, they got. No, absolutely not. Yeah. You're trying to get me riled up.
As soon as the officer tells him that, he's like, no, what? No, what? I don't even do that. I would never even ask. Who, what? No. That's a good theory. That officer I feel like hit it right on the head. Based on all the things this guy's done this entire time and based on the way he's acting, yeah, he's definitely high. And it makes sense that he would do all of this for the reason of getting free drugs. Obviously, there's no way to really confirm this unless we look at like court documents or some shit, but I don't have time for that. So, but at the end of the day, they took Michael in and he was charged with unlawful possession of a firearm and criminal impersonation, which are both felonies. And in the pictures he took in court, he does not like to show his face. So he wasn't actually charged for anything relating to drugs. Something tells me that this isn't going to be the last time we hear from Michael. I have a feeling that in a few months or so, even a few weeks maybe, there will be another Code Blue Cam video with this guy as the star. And you can bet your sweet baby I'm going to be watching that shit. Yes, sir. But that was the story of how a criminal impersonated a cop. And this all ended up being one big game of Among Us trying to sniff him out. And they did. They win. The imposters didn't win in this one. But let's read the comments, because I kind of want to read the comments. He then impersonated a judge and found himself not guilty. Oh, okay, so this guy did the math. He's 48 minus 27 years he worked in Baltimore, and he retired 4 years ago. So he was 17 when he became a cop. The lies. The lies keep piling up. Yeah, and a lot of these comments are just calling him out on the fact that he was tweaking, which he definitely was. Plot twist, there is no wife. He's not even married. The cops were talking to him all along. He was impersonating his wife on a hands-free phone while he was in handcuffs. True, he had a pre-recorded line ready. The night before he recorded that. I just woke up, officer. I don't even know. It's all part of his master plan. Nah, but this guy's a fucking idiot. And either way, he got charged with 2 felonies. He's probably going to spend a little time in jail. But once he's out, he's just going to go right back to doing this shit. And I feel like in his eyes, all of this is just a means to getting free drugs. And he's never going to pass that up. So, I mean, like I said, we'll probably see him on another YouTube video pretty soon. But that's all I have for you today. That's all I have. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. But that's the end of the video now. So, bye.